Hi, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're having a great day today. It's a lovely day. So before we start, I want to welcome everybody to my channel. My name is Jasmina from Jasmina Brozovic Astrology. I'm a modern astrologer, Western astrologer, and I love astrology, love sharing the knowledge, the magic, ancient wisdom of astrology with others. If you want to book a reading with me, you can go to my website, jasminabrozovicastrology.com. Also there you can subscribe to my newsletter for monthly forecasts and for special offers that I give. And today, not only that it's a Valentine's Day, a day of love and sharing the love with each other. Oh, hi, Misbehaving. Happy Valentine's. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I chose today to talk about the upcoming Venus retrograde. It's going to happen soon. And I thought, because the Venus is a planet of love and beauty, today would be a great day as well to kind of prepare us for what is going to happen soon. Yes, all the links below if you want to have a moon planner as well. New one is coming up soon as well, so you can see everything in the description below. Okay, so let's start with Venus. What is Venus? What Venus represents, and what does this retrograde mean? Venus is a planet of beauty, relationships, finances, money. The Venus is how we value ourselves. It's about the worth. It's about our desires, our pleasures. What do we find pleasure in? What do we desire? What do we want in life? So when she's direct, she's full of life, she wants to connect, she wants to enjoy life. But when she's retrograde, she's more on the other side. She can't find pleasure, has a hard time finding pleasure, has a hard time connecting. There's can be a struggle with finances as well. So that's why it's very good to prepare for Venus retrograde, to understand what are the energies and what are do's and don'ts in this case. Okay, so retrograde Venus is going to happen on March 1st, and she's going to be retrograde until April 12th, 2025. She also entered her shadow period on January 28th, and she's going to leave the shadow on May 16th. The points, so she's direct until the 10 degrees of Aries, and then she's going to go back from 10 degrees of Aries until 24 degrees of Pisces. And I want to share my screen. I got this lovely, which, no, let's do this one. Okay, so I want to share this with you. This is from the Honeycomb. I'm using their journal. This is not affiliated, or it's not an ad, but I use their journal, astrology journal, personalized journal, and they have this free on their website. So you can go check it out. This is what I'm talking about. So January 2nd is when Venus came into Pisces for the first time. She entered Pisces. Then on the 28th, we are entering the shadow. The shadow period is when we start. This is the time when she goes retrograde. She's going to go back retrograde to this point. So everything from this point onwards, we might feel the same topics and themes coming up during the retrograde period. So people you met, or some financial issues you had, or something that happened regarding your possessions or your desires and pleasures, whatever that happened. But when it started here, so you can make a note, you can look at your journals, emails, and see what was happening until March 1st. So everything from this shadow, see, on February 4th she enters Aries. So from this period until here, everything that happened in this period, while she's retrograde, from March 1st until April 12th, these topics will kind of come back. Okay, so the first time we kind of have a sense when what is happening when she passes through those points for the first time. Then while she's retrograde, we kind of need to revise, redo things, reevaluate, reestimate with Venus, to see, reconnect. So think about all these Venus topics with a re in the beginning, and then at the end, after April 12th, when she goes direct until she finishes the shadow period, May 16th, we're going to have some kind of resolution coming up. So that's how it works. This is the opening topics. We need to revise them, and then this is a closure. Okay, so we might not see the closure from the topics from the January 28th until May 16th. That's why it's a long period. Okay, and then she's finally leaving Aries on June 5th. Okay, so she will be in Pisces and Aries for a long, long time. See, from January 2nd until June 5th. So there's literally 6 months of being in just two signs and revising the topics of those two signs. Okay, so I just wanted to share this with you because visuals are always to have. Like I'm sharing I have two screens. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with you, and I'm gonna go through for what does this mean for all 12 signs. I just wanted to give you a preview of what is happening, what is the timeline and logistics. Also, you can think about what happened last time when Venus was in Aries retrograde, and that happened in 2017, 2009, 2001, 1993, 1985, and 1977. I didn't go backwards that far, but so think about what happened in your life regarding finances or romantic relationship or business relationships in those years. Maybe the same topics will come up again. Okay, so so Venus rules Taurus and Libras. Okay, so all the Taurus people and Libras and the people who have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in Taurus or in Libra, they're going to be more affected by this retrograde just because she's ruling their chart or their Sun or their Moon or how they feel, what they want. So I must say they're going to feel this more, and it's going to be more personal, and just have a note on that. So it's going to be very, very specific for those people. Okay, so I have some notes here. What Venus in general feels for Aries. What is Venus in Aries? Because she's not comfortable in Aries just because it's a Mars ruled sign. So it's like a Venus going for a fight. Okay, so Venus in Aries is a fighter. She's very passionate. And when she's in Aries, she feels more equal to Mars energy as well. So there's like a fighting for I can be, same. Like when female and masculine energies come together and they feel they're the same, and they feel equal. So that's what Venus really feels in Aries, that she can really partner and be a great partner and be as strong and as anybody with the masculine energy or Mars energy, let's say. So she's also very impulsive and impatient and goes head first. This is typical Aries behavior. So don't think, just go for it. So when she sees something or when she wants something, she will just go for it. She will not think twice. So, and then later she might think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done it. So that's the Aries energy with Venus, and because she it's about our wants, our desires, our passions, our pleasures, our so we really go. We don't think about how much we even spend. So this can be, especially in a retrograde, that she's not in control of it, and then we just go over the top. Okay. Um, yeah, so she really wants to put herself first on a pedestal. She wants to be, the best in this sense. So she's putting her needs first over others. So think about that as well with this. And it can be easily hurt. People often mistake that only water signs are very emotional and they can be easily hurt, but the fire signs are very the same, because fire signs are they have this spark and spirit in them, and if they're not appreciated, or if people don't see them as they are, they can get really, really hurt. I think water and fire signs are very similar in that sense. They're both very actually emotional people, very much so she's actually very emotional in Aries. I mean, in a sense that she can really, her ego can be bruised, right, and hurt that way. So she has like love them or leave them attitude as well. Like, this is who I am and I don't care, love me or leave me. So she can be very rash and just, doesn't want to make any changes, and she just, wants to be accepted as she is and praised for what she is. Um, yeah, so the thing is finding the balance and being considerate, because it's about relating to others. So we always have to have some kind of balance and some kind of consideration when we are in connection, in relationship with others. It's not just us. So she has maybe some hard times dealing with that as well. It can be selfish. In a sense, it can be selfish. Oh, this is, I want my pleasures, what is me, especially in Aries. Aries is a very sexual sign. So especially in the area of the bedroom areas, she wants to be pleased in a sense and be in the first place. And in life in general, she just wants people to please her, and when she's in Aries. So that can be on the downside. And there's always a thin line between love and hate with Venus in Aries. It's just take me or leave me, love and hate. It's very passionate, so it can be not rational, because it's fueled up with these emotions and with these needs and wants, and then this is what is fueling her. In this case, because she's ruled by Mars in Cancer, and Mars is going to be retrograde for another 10 days or so, she's going to be maybe more caring, more nurturing. She might have. Oh, hi, Tira. Hi, Tyra. Nice to see you. Hello. Yes, Tyra is my astrology peer from one of the teachings we're having with Astro Victor. So I'm going to have her on my channel as well soon. I'm so excited. Welcome. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah. So Venus in Aries, can be in that sense, but she's ruled by Mars in Cancer now. So she will show maybe more care and nurturing regarding others when in dealing with others in relationship with others, especially. The interesting thing is that when she goes retrograde, Mars is going to go direct. So there's an overlap. They're going to go. They're going to be only 1 week. So Mars is going to go direct on the 23rd of February, and she's going to go retrograde on March 1st. So there's a week when they are both going direct, and that's good. I think that week is going to be very important. It's going to fuel some energies, and then it's going to stop. So I think we're going to feel like, oh yeah, let's do it, and then it's going to stop very sudden, and then she's going to go retrograde and rethink what was, because Mars was doing all these retrograde things. So she's been ruled by Mars, the February Mars retrograde, and then she's going to be ruled by Mars direct. So the energies are going to shift a lot, but then she's going to go inwards and reflect. So it's going to be very interesting to see what's happening with that energy. Oh, nice to, yeah, I'm very happy that you're here as well. Excellent, cool. So that's Venus in Aries. Venus in Pisces, my notes. Okay, so that's a totally different story, right? So in Pisces, she's exalted. She's at a good place. She loves being in Pisces. But she's highly emotive, highly sensitive. It's also very sensual. So imagine this going, so she's now in Aries. She's very feisty, very fiery, very dynamic, very active. All of a sudden, she's going to go switch and into more sensual, emotional, inwards energy. We're gonna feel that. We're gonna really feel it. Like especially because it's gonna go retrograde. We are revising, reconnecting, reevaluating, redoing things, and it's gonna be like, oh my God, what do I need to do? And then, oh, how do I feel about this? So we're gonna have this shift of energies. We're gonna feel it hard, and Mars is finally gonna go forward, and he's gonna go into Leo later. So Mars in Leo ruling Venus in Aries at the end of all this is going to be very fiery, very feisty. Like this is still a blend of water and fire in the beginning of this retrograde for Venus. So so in Pisces she's more receptive. She definitely enjoys art in any way, music, movies. It's about glamour, photography, paintings, a lot of different things. So we might feel, we might reconnect that part of ourselves as well with this retrograde. The thing with Venus in so as I mentioned, Venus in Aries is very dynamic. She wants to be in charge, and the Venus in Pisces wants to surrender to the partner. So we have this Venus in charge. I want to be in charge of this partnership, or I'm the one who's going to lead us forward. And then we have Venus in Pisces who is surrendering to the partner. Lead me, I'll follow you. So imagine that kind of energy shift of energies all of a sudden. So I think we really, really going to feel that. What else? So she can be very submissive as well. She doesn't she doesn't like to be just a impartial observer. She wants to be the part of it. She wants to emerge with this relationship, totally surrendering with all her senses, with all her wants and pleasures and desires, and just not even, transcending to another realm. Definitely not even be. But then think about if that kind of Venus rules your money, you can just give it away. So you have to be very cautious, because she also rules the money department. So it can be, if it's not placed well within your chart, it can be like that as well. So there's a lot of attraction to the underdog. This guy is, these people are suffering, or, finding a partner who is kind of is suffering or is a victim, and then, I'm going to save you, like I'm going to be a savior. So that's a Venus in Pisces also. So it's a lot of different energy coming up with this retrograde. What else did I put here? So as I mentioned, she can give money away very easily when she is in Pisces. In Aries, she might think, oh no, I want to spend money on myself. But in Pisces, she's going to just, I don't care. Money, what is money? It's not important. Like, just not even, there's no boundaries. Remember, Pisces have no boundaries. Oh, hi, Mark. Nice to see you. Happy Valentine's. Thanks for joining. I was just talking to Matt this morning, and we mentioned how we miss our class. It's so nice to see you. Mark was also one of my Astro peers from Matt's classes. Oh, so nice to see you guys. What did I say? Okay. Yeah. So even she's, what was, so she, there's this she's easily conned by others, right? So how she spends money or giving away, or what is money, not having, there's no boundaries with spending, no boundaries with giving herself completely to other people, even to a point it can be masochistic, but it's extreme. I just want to mention I think she wants to love unconditionally, but then there's always something, I sacrificed myself for you. What did I get? So there's always this thing with Venus in Pisces as well, right? Yes. So, Tyra is saying, Mark misses the class. Yes. Oh yeah. So Tyra says, I'm a Pisces sun. Yes, giving money away is a real thing. Oh no. Yes, that's the thing, because there's no boundaries, right? Oh, thanks, Mark. It's so nice for you guys. Okay, so I want to talk about values. So because she's also about, we talked about relationships and money, but what about values? What do we value? So so I'm going to say in general. So positive effects of Venus about value system. It's that she values harmony, balance, devotion, refinement, sophistication, elegance, beauty, charm. She's very affectionate, emotive, responsive. Those are the positive traits of what Venus values in a positive way. In a neutral way, it can be the capacity to give and receive love, beauty. It's very sociable. It's cooperative, like 2 + 2 gives 5. And in a negative sense, she can be lazy, indulgent. She can wallow. I'll do it tomorrow. That's a thing for in Pisces. When she's in Pisces, she might do that as well. It can be, ideally, idle, like idolizing everything, indifferent for indifferent to what's going on in the world, for other people and feelings. You can go on the other side. So remember, every sign can wallow to the worst of the other. Okay, so always make that a point. Yes, Venus in Pisces, especially I'm talking about her now because she can have empathy and kindness towards others, but on the other hand, if it's not good in a good place, she can really disregard anybody's feelings. So think about always those extremes. It can be this way or that way. Yeah, she can be flirtatious, superficial as well, in a negative sense. Okay, so when she's retrograde, also we're gonna probably gonna have difficulties in projecting our feelings into the outside world. Okay, especially when she's gonna be in Aries. So Aries retrograde, definitely this connection with what we feel, and it can happen in Pisces as well because we're gonna wallow maybe on the other side. So like sense of lacking of emotional fulfillment, it can happen during the Venus retrograde, like feeling that you can never be fulfilled through love, to things that you have, to what you accomplished, depending, right? Yeah, it can be very difficult, especially in Aries retrograde, as I mentioned, right? Because she might not be seen. She not, all these things that I said about how she is when she's in Aries, she might feel that she's not getting that, not being seen, not being appreciated, not being able to lead, to be in charge. And imagine how hard it is for a Venus, right? Not being, appreciated, loved. And she's very impatient in Aries. So when she's retrograde, it can be very hard. So those are some of the things that I want to mention in general for what can we expect. I'm going to go now through all 12 rising signs because I think I'll give you more more context of what's happening. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, there you go. As well, I want to thank you, LSA and Frank Clipper School, for letting me use this wheel. I love this dynamic wheel. Look at that. I love it. I love it. So thank you. Okay, Aries. Woohoo! As I mentioned, okay, especially I mentioned that Taurus and Libras are going to have, especially going to feel it because she's ruling them. But let's talk about Aries rising. So if you have Aries risings, Venus is going to go retrograde first through your first house and then through your 12th. See how the shift is going to be so hard, right? And then Mars is still in Cancer, right, during this. So let's put it here because he's ruling you and this Venus at this point. So we're just going to focus on that. So the month of March and first half of April, you are definitely going to feel this Venus as not feeling loved, not feeling seen as for who you are, for your abilities. I think it's maybe time to revise as well some body issues that you might have as well. Oh, I didn't mention this. So when Venus is retrograde, some things that I wouldn't do, I wouldn't get married, for example. Like I wouldn't sign any partnership contracts. I know Mercury rules contracts, but everything to do with money or other people, I wouldn't do it either during Venus retrograde, just because when you start something new during the retrogrades, the personal planets, I mean, not the others, usually it can be really, there's a tendency that needs to be revised later. So you can do it, but then just be prepared that it's not going to be as you wanted it in the first place, how you initiated it, and then you're going to need to adjust and make some changes when the planet goes direct. So especially so for, also, I wouldn't do any plastic surgeries or anything regarding beauty or beauty treatments that can affect your looks for long term. Okay, like going through facial, fine, but if you're gonna, go under the knife, especially for Aries risings. Why am I mentioning this? Because this is especially for Aries rising. Venus is in your first house. First house is about your body, and she represents beauty and how you look. Mars is ruling you. Mars is about surgeries. So, and Mars is retrograde. She's going to be, actually, he's going to be direct when she goes retrograde, as I mentioned. But still, there's going to be like a tiny little window still both in the shadows, right? So, the things can go wrong, and then you have to go and redo them then again later. So if you're prepared, if you're willing to take the risk, I know that people with Aries risings are more prone to take risks. Just make a calculated risk, then make sure that you know what you're going up against, and be prepared to change things on the way, right? So I think this is going to be definitely one of the topics, is your looks. And how you physically present yourself. Maybe you're going to feel during this revision, during this retrograde, you can just revise and just make notes of maybe some changes that you want to do with your body. And then when Venus goes direct, and especially when she goes direct in Aries later, and Mars goes into Leo, then then is going to be definitely a time to do some beauty treatments, right? Leo's going to be in your fifth house, Mars is going to be in the fifth house, so that's going to be definitely, they're going to be in a good trine, so that's going to be definitely a positive effect, but don't do anything now. That's one topic. Again, first house, about how people see us. Are we seen? Are we acknowledged? I think this can be really hard in the relationships, because it's always reflecting on the seventh house. Wherever this is happening, it's reflecting the other house as well. So this is going to be about your one-on-one relationships with your partners and business partners and clients, and I just wouldn't make any long-term decisions, any rash decisions, because are impulsive, or going from the impatience, because when planets go retrograde, it's time to slow down. They are inviting us to slow down for a reason. Okay, so have that in mind. And when she's going to go back to the Pisces here, then she's going to be ruled by Jupiter in Gemini, and Neptune in Pisces for modern rulership. And it's going to be a little bit easier. I think you're going to feel more that you can kind of to have a better connection with others, and to just have a better understanding for others, and people will have better understanding for you. So maybe it's a time, it's a great opportunity, because Jupiter is going to be, let's do Jupiter here, ruling this Venus. It may be time to journal, or to put some thoughts down, and to revise and reflect on what have you been through and where are you going. Jupiter in the third, helping you with the communicating, writing abilities. Venus here in the 12th house, or just connect with your artistic part of you, or really spiritual part of you. Maybe you want to connect with some spiritual person. There is a communication, there is a connection. So journaling would be number one for me, I would say, to just reflect and see how can you learn from your previous mistakes that you did, and there's an opportunity to connect, because Venus connect with your spiritual part of you, with your spirit, through art, through communicating with others, but you need to slow down anyway. right? So I think with Mars retrograde, you were frustrated enough. I know it's not been easy for Aries because they had Mars retrograde since December, slowing them down. Now Venus in the first house again, slowing some things down for them. But think about it, in April, May, you're going to be a new person. You're going to be rejuvenated. You're going to be, really, uh, you're going to have really better um, better view of how to start and how to finish this year in a better way. I think you're gonna, if you use this energy well, to not to be impatient and frustrated, or to just understand that this is a time to slow down, and that you're gonna speed up much faster later. Okay, remember, how Mars in Cancer really always reminds us what Cancer does: one step forward, two step backwards, or sideways, actually, the way the crab goes, right? So um, there's this Latin proverb, I don't know, I can't remember it, but the fastest way to go is the slow. It's slow, right? The progress, you're gonna make the best progress if you go slowly, and this is the advice for you, Aries. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break. I hope everybody's okay today. Mhm. Okay. Okay, Taurus rising. So as I mentioned, Venus is your chart ruler, is ruling who you are and how you present yourself to the world, and it can be very hard because you can also be kind of confused. She's going to go a little bit through your 12th house, which is also not tangible, and then I think for you is definitely important, also not to change not to make any drastic changes or major course corrections or changing of the path that you are going, because definitely you will need to change it later when she goes direct. So uh, while she's in Aries retrograde, there's a connection, excuse me, just as I mentioned for Aries risings, some action, some journaling, or some way to connect with people from your local neighborhood as well. I would suggest maybe reconnect with your neighbors, reconnect with your siblings, reconnect maybe from somebody you went to school with as you were younger, your peers from elementary school or high school. Maybe that's go to high school reunion. I think this Venus retrograde would be excellent for high school reunions, just because it's going back. And usually also during Venus retrograde, we might many times people from our past come to us, or that we didn't see for a long time. You will hear from some people, and I think with you're probably going to hear from some people from school, or the third house is also cousins. So long distance cousins, you might reconnect with family reunion, high school reunion. That's a beautiful way to use this energy in a positive way. Taurus risings, absolutely, especially when she's in Aries, when she is. But even when she goes retrograde in Pisces, it's about 11th house. It's about your group and friendships and your community. So there's again a reconnection. If you were a part of some kind of group and you were younger, or and you stopped doing it, maybe it's time to do it again. Okay, Mars is okay. This is now Jupiter ruled, but this would also benefit to regain your self-worth if you have struggling with that, with Jupiter being in the second house here, right? So there's this connection. If you want to rejoin a yoga class, or because it's going 12, 11, maybe some yoga classes, or some art classes, or anyway, I think it's a good time to reconnect with people for you Taurus risings especially. Oh, let me see what Tyra says. She goes, I'm a Taurus one, and just yesterday told my high school classmates that I promised to attend our reunion this year. Lol. This is so funny. There you go. See, you need to. This is this is so true. Yeah. This is so interesting. Yeah, but I think you also have, I think, Venus in Aries, as I recall. So that's also, she's going to go retrograde. Your natal Venus is going retrograde. So that's also, if you have natally Venus in Pisces or Aries, when she goes retrograde, it's also going to pull some people from the past as well. Or, this is also good for you, Taurus risings, because You like stability, you like material possessions and luxuries with Jupiter here. I especially when she's retrograde in Pisces, I would be aware of that you might overspend. And because you will have no boundaries, and when she's retrograde, you're going to feel a little bit more like, oh, I need this for emotional reasons to feel, so you might spend a little bit more time even on friends, or just have no boundaries. And in Croatia we have like in our culture, when we go to a bar, there's this tendency to buy everybody drink. Like four friends go to a bar, then everybody gets around. Like this is my round, this is how we do it. So this is kind of a feeling I have for Taurus rising. It's like, I don't care, this is my round, I'm gonna pay for everything. And you might regret it later. So just watch out how much you spend, especially with friends. I think what else did I want to say? Jupiter, Neptune is here also in the 11th. So there is going to be definitely a need to do something that makes you emotionally good. Okay, so what is Tyra saying? Okay. Excited to get my third Venus return, 3 Venus returns. My Venus is in the 1st degree of Aries. Ooh, there you go. That's gonna be feisty. Now you're gonna have a good one. I think the high school reunion actually is also great for you to kind of reconnect with those people and see. Sometimes it's good to go back. Like all these retrogrades are telling us, go back to see what happened before. What did we learn, and how can we move forward in a different settings, in a different pace? What did we learn? What can we do better, and have better progress? Okay. For you, Taurus, again, I just want to mention when Venus goes back to Aries and Mars goes to Leo, there's going to be a lovely things that are going to happen around your home, and you're going to feel really connected with your families and people. So it's going to be such a beautiful energy. But until then, I just feel that you might overspend on some things that you might regret later. That's something that I feel that you might want to do. Okay. Overall, great. Geminis, what is happening with you, Geminis? Okay. I want to put Mercury in, just because Mercury is now because Mercury is your ruler, and he just entered Pisces today, so he's going to be in Pisces and in Aries, but he's going to also go retrograde. So this is double whammy for you as well, Geminis, just because, and I don't know when Mercury goes retrograde. I think somewhere also in March. Let me take a look, because that's important to know. So Mercury is going to go retrograde. Yeah, so Mercury is actually entering his shadow on March 1st when Venus goes retrograde on the same day. And he's going to go retrograde on the 15th. So they're both going to be retrograde at the same time, Venus and Mercury. And then Mercury goes direct. Just a second on my little thingies. So Mercury goes direct on the 7th of April, and Venus goes direct on the 12th of April. So they're basically retrograde at the same time. Yes, March 15th. March 15th, he goes retrograde. That's right, Tyra. Yeah. So they're going to be retrograde in the same signs at the same time. Okay. So this is very significant for your Gemini's risings, because it's going to be a lot of confusion. And for you, with your scattered minds in general, and with Jupiter being in your first house full of optimism, and you can just feel over the top, and it can be excessive, and you will overdo it. And so, okay, let's one thought at a time. So, a little bit of Venus going through your 11th and 12th house. There's a connection between people and your work, and Mercury is going to go there. So think about, so what is happening at your workplace? with your managers, how with your reputation. They're going to be maybe it's a good time, especially when Venus goes into Pisces retrograde, to rebrand yourself in a way, to find a way to not to actually do it right away, but to make notes. What is my visibility? How I want to be seen? What is my reputation? What do I need to, what happened in the past? There will be some changes with some authority there as well with Venus, or with something happening, maybe some new people or old people from the past are coming. Maybe with these two combinations, Jupiter is ruling your midheaven and the first house. There might be some maybe offers coming up from the past, or people where you used to work. You might get some offers from previous jobs or previous engagements or previous contracts or previous whatever partnerships. There might be some situations or people who you used to work with. There might be a combination. And 11th house is actually how we make money from our reputation or career and anyway. So this is also about money. So and how much money you spend, how much money. So we always forget 11th house is about our hopes and wishes for the future, but it's also about our retirement. So they might be thinking, am I putting enough money for retirement? So Venus is here, Mars is in your second house, so it's connected with money. So think about, am I putting enough aside for my retirement? Am I going to have enough when I stop working? So there's going to be a topic that you might want to reconsider. I don't know if you're very young, you might not think about it, but maybe it's a good time to think about it when you're young enough. When it's too late, then it's too late. So that might be a topic as well. Your social media presence, your internet presence might, you might get some maybe old followers or some old supporters coming to you or connecting with somebody else, or people who you connected online before. You might connect again after a long time. That might be a topic. It's interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of changes money-wise for some reason. I feel that for you. Mars is here in the second house, still retrograde. So he's been kind of, telling you to slow down on spending. When he goes direct, you might feel that you want to spend more, but he's direct and Venus retrograde. You want to feel like, I have been I have been not spending so much in the last couple of months. The whole winter was kind of crazy. I want to spend some money on myself and my friends. And, you like friends and, just going to a fancy dinner with your friends and spending too much money. You might feel, So I would watch how you spend money, because you're going to feel very good. Like, I don't care. When Jupiter's in the first house, who cares? You live only once, kind of a feeling. Let's do it. So you kind of just step on a break. Don't overdo it. I just feel that you're going to regret it later. So and I think you're gonna maybe, I think you should just rethink how you want to rebrand yourself, how you're going to move forward in life, how you want to be seen in a public eye, how the way you promote and advertise yourself. What are you doing? Mercury and Venus together, it can really help you. It can really, really help you, because Venus is also ruling your fifth house of creativity. So investigate, research, do a little, and then after eclipse season and everything, the shadows are cleared in May, and it's actually going to be Gemini season. You're going to have, your birthdays, most of you. It's going to be much better. So use this spring, this retrograde Venus and Mercury to make new, better, more beautiful foundation for the new beginning happening in May and onwards. So that's definitely, I would suggest something that is the topic for you for this Venus retrograde. Yeah, a lot of people from, lots of old friends can come up as well. I think you're going to get texts, emails, phone calls from people you didn't hear for a long, long time. Mercury is also here moving along, and he's your ruler. So it's going to be a lot of people from the past coming into your lives. Okay, Cancer risings. Cancers. I think you're going to be so happy when Mars goes direct, just for that little week. Anyway, so Venus Oh, I want to. So the moon, because you're ruled by the moon. Moon changes sign every 2.5 days. There is always going to be a little shift happening with you. But very important during this, we have eclipse season as well. So Venus retrograde is going to be during the eclipse season. And first eclipse is going to happen on March 14th. And in Pisces, in 23-degree Virgo. So this eclipse, that's a lunar eclipse, full moon. So the moon is going to be here, yes, and the sun is going to be here. So I'm just taking this. So take a note. Take a note of things, maybe traveling plans, or something to do with if you're pursuing a PhD or some other courses you're taking, or communications with your siblings or neighbors. Like, there's going to be some topics here. I'm mentioning this. This is important. These are eclipses. We're going to talk about it more later, but I think they're going to be affected by this Venus retrograde. I think if I wouldn't plan any trips, that would be number one for you. Another eclipse is March 29th in Aries, 9 degrees Aries. So that's going to be back here. There's a solar eclipse here. And Venus is also going to be retrograde here. So career. There's definitely going to, because you're ruled by the moon, there's definitely going to be some career changes, I feel, for you this spring. Or if you wanna, eclipses are major beginnings and major endings, and this is something affecting your being abroad. So there's a connection with maybe wanting to change jobs and moving abroad. Maybe there's working with foreigners. There's this connection. I feel that you're gonna have to maybe revise what kind of are you happy with what you're working? Are you happy where you work, how you work? Venus in the 10 houses, this is where it's more visible. You're going to be very visible by other people here. So make sure, who are you connecting with that help people who are you connecting with to help that can help you with your career? Maybe somebody from the past, maybe somebody from abroad can help you with pursuing, progressing in your career. Mars is in the first house, so you have definitely had issues with just moving forward, and I think you were more sluggish than usual. It's going to be better when Mars goes directly into Leo here, and I think it's going to be better connection between making money and with new connections. So there's definitely there are going to probably be things popping up from past, helping you with career and stuff. Tyra is saying March is going to be too much. It's going to be too much. Yes, we really need to prepare for March. I'm going to have a special edition just talking about March because it's going to be really, really something. That's why I'm doing this before, because I think we can prepare for Venus retrograde uphand, so we understand what is happening. So when Venus is look, I wouldn't travel. So definitely for Cancer risings, I mean, Mercury is also going to be retrograde. Mercury is also, when it's retrograde, we don't really encourage traveling. But for you specifically, Venus retrograde in the 9th. But rethink, do you want to pursue any course? Do you want to get some kind of knowledge? Do you want to learn a new language? Did you like a feeling, I always wanted to learn Spanish, I never had a chance. Now it's time. Like, this is the opportunity to kind of you can grab those kind of opportunities. Things that maybe getting some skills, especially when Mars goes into Leo, getting some skills or revising some skill and talents that you have from the past, helping you with that. Those skills can help you make money later, right? Jupiter in the 12th rule, when Venus is going to be in Pisces retrograde with this Jupiter here, no traveling. When she's in Aries, okay, but when she's in Pisces, I would really highly recommend not to. Jupiter is hidden in the 12th house. She's retrograde in the 9th. It can be just losses. It can be just not good enough. I don't want you to travel. I said it. Anyway, but there's a great opportunity for you to connect with somebody that you knew that can help you with your career for sure. Okay, Leos. I'm never gonna be finished. Okay. When you have so much Gemini energy as I have, I can talk and talk and talk. Okay. So, Leos, what is happening? Okay, so for you, also eclipse season is more important, especially the solar eclipse happening on the 29th of March, because Sun is your ruler, and definitely you need to make sure that, yeah. So end of March, and Venus is going to be here. So Venus is also hovering over the ninth house of travel. So no travel when she's retrograding in Aries, please. And when she's retrograding in Pisces, there is a situation that can come, because this is retrograde in Pisces into your 8th house. I like that. You know why? Because you can get a tax refund. You can get some money from government, some grants, because something that was promised before and you forgot about it, then you get it now. So it's like a good thing. It's also kind of a pre-tax season. So if you file your taxes on time, there might be another tip that I heard and I want to share with you when I talk about taxes. File your taxes while press the button when you file the taxes while the moon is void. That means nothing will come of it and nobody will chase you for anything. So make a note of that. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, so this if you have some inheritance going on, maybe you get a resolution. So think about things that you have with your partner, or your partner will get some money, or your partner will get inheritance. There's going to be something coming because Venus is in your 8th house. While she's at retrograde in the 9th house, remember Mars is still in the 12th. He's going to go in the 1st, so he's moving. He's also making some psychological, you didn't have psychological strength as you usually do. I think your ego and just your over self-confidence was a little bit low while Mars was retrograde. So it's going to be much better when Mars goes directly in Leo in your 1st house. You're going to get your boost of confidence back. I think you're going to feel more comfortable in what you're doing. And this is going to be then when she goes direct in Aries. I think it's going to be a beautiful blend for, just then you can travel and do whatever you want. But, I would wait until definitely I wouldn't travel during this as well. This is also about 9th house, about legal situations and courts. So if you had any legal disputes or court issues, this might come to it can happen on to a resolution as well. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I file my taxes with void moon. You're welcome. So this can, some legal issues can be resolved, or some contract situations. I think, when there can be some. Jupiter is in the 11th house of your retirement funds, and you might get some dividends or something regarding your retirement fund, for example. It's just a stupid example, but when she's retrograde here, there's nothing much to do unless you really want to connect. So when she's retrograde in the 9th house, there might be a reconnection with some of your friends from abroad, or just thinking of visiting them, or you can talk about it, make some plans. Yes, especially with Jupiter here. When she's here, there's Jupiter's here until June, so there's a connection between friendships abroad and making travel plans, but don't travel yet. Okay, so that could be a topic that comes up with you. Okay, also you might overspend when she's retrograde here on travel, because you want to, I don't care, I want to, I'm going to book for first class. Don't. I'm just saying during this, don't be. You need to kind of step also on because it's about adventures. I think you want to spend more time. You will think about how can you go on adventure, on a quest, around the world, like, and what can you do, and who can you see, and who can you connect with, and it's about desires and passions as well when she's in Aries, right? So a lot of things going on with they the things might pop up with regarding your belief system as well. You might reevaluate what you believe in, and because you were, as I mentioned before in the beginning, Venus in Aries can be like love and hate, thin line. So it can be like a love and hate with people who don't have the same belief system as yours. A lot of arguments can come from that as well, especially when Mercury is going to be here retrograde as well. So try not to get into very proud discussions about what you stand for. It can backfire. You can remember, Venus retrograde, we might lose many people as well. Yes, many people from the past can come, and we can also lose many people. So don't forget that, breakups are also part of this, our life cycles. It's normal that it's not, it's part of life, and it's part of circle of life. So during Venus retrogrades, more people break up, more people, especially when Venus in Aries, she wants to be independent on her own. So we might experience more breakups than usual. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. Okay. Virgos risings. Yeah. So this is definitely going to affect your partnerships, your relationships, your clients, your one-on-one relationships, also the money that you get from your clients, the money, your partner, your joint things, what you have with your partner, house. Is it time to to refinance your mortgage? That might come up as a topic, especially if you have a household with your partner. These are mortgages in the 8th house. So but while she's while Venus is in Pisces and Jupiter is here, there may be some things happening in your career as well. People changes, management changes, client changes, partner changes, breakups. Venus going retrograde in your 7th house for you. Breakups are the most going to be most probable. I'm not saying everybody, but I'm just saying this might happen. It's also a great opportunity. Instead of, if it's time to break up, I understand, but it's also a great opportunity to reconnect with your partner. Look, it's in Pisces. How do you, as I mentioned in the beginning, maybe it's time that you surrender to your partner. Stop worrying, stop organizing, stop putting everything, and stop criticizing. Maybe you just need to stop doing all that and just enjoy. It's a beautiful time with your partner while Venus is retrograde in Pisces, this little couple of weeks, right? But this definitely will affect, I think, many relationships in your life. Your friends, Mars is here, your workplace, your one-on-one relationships. I think only kids are safe in this case. I think everybody else, or maybe parents, everybody else is really going to be affected. And you're gonna question the value of your relationship. Am I valued enough? Am I appreciated enough? There's going to be a lot of questions popping up in your head, and you might, but as I said, if you're going to make any decisions, I know many people do these breakups and things during retrogrades, but just, pause, and when everything goes direct, see what happens. Okay. This is going to be very personal to you. You're going to feel it for sure, depending, of course, where your Venus in your chart is. But I think you're going to feel it in the areas of friendships breaking up, some friends, maybe old friends coming back, or some new, or breaking up with friends. Maybe just there's no space. Sometimes we just outgrown the relationships. It doesn't have to be dramatic or feisty. It can just be. But when she goes retrograde here in Aries, I feel that maybe you're gonna get some money from somebody that they owe you or something. Maybe that's gonna be maybe more interesting than when she's in Pisces retrograde. Yeah. Yeah, and Mercury, forget. So as I said, for Geminis, Mercury is also your ruler, and he's going to go retrograde through Pisces and Aries here as well. So there's a double whammy for you, just like for Geminis I mentioned. And for you, it's double whammy with your relationship. There might be absolutely some changes. Mercury is also about contracts. I wouldn't commit to anybody long term during this period. Forget about March. Just go along what's happening. Don't promise anybody anything. If other people promise you, take it with a grain of salt. I don't think it's going to be long term. So just go with the flow. This is Venus in Pisces. Just go with the flow. Don't think long term. I know you want to have organized, you have like a 5-year plan already set up in motion. It's time, remember eclipses are happening in your first and the seventh house. So this is even extra whammy for you. Three things happening. Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, and eclipses happening in your first and seventh house. Do not make any major long-term decisions. You're going to regret it. Or if it's time that you need to let go, something that's been brewing for a long time, then it's going to happen and then there's no turning back. I'm just letting you know, because this is the energy for you. It's it's going to affect you a lot. And I'm a Virgo rising. Woohoo! Okie dokie. I need to be very, I'm going to hibernate until May, until Gemini season. I'm just going to go with the flow and hibernate. Don't think about anything and see what happens after, because I can just revise and redo things as well, right? Also I can rebrand myself. Mercury is going to go here. So how you want to be seen by others, what kind of partnerships you want to have publicly, who you want to connect with. Anyway, so that's another topic for you. Libras, Libras, very personal. Venus is ruling your chart. Very, very personal. Take another sip. So this can also affect your relationship as well. Hibernate. Yes, Tyra, hibernate. That's the word. So, all my dear Libras, what is happening is that Venus, your ruler, is wanting you to be more independent in your relationships, and it's time to revise. Are you depending too much on your partners, on your clients, on your business partners? How is this affecting the quality of your life and your health and your life balance? Look at that connection. So, is your dependency making you sick? What can you change? This is the time. So now it's retrograde, remember? So it's time to change maybe some of your daily habits, of your routines. And you know what? You like to be beautiful. You enjoy sharing the beauty with the world, and maybe it's time to see what can you do to share more beauty with others, especially life balance. I'm thinking about how can you find more, because it's all about balance with you anyway, Libras, right? So you need to find a balance within your relationships and with your everyday life. Are you having enough rest? Venus in Pisces. Are you sleeping enough? Are you hydrating enough? Are you pleasing others too much so you don't think about yourself enough? There's a lot of things going on here. Okay. So I really hope that you use this retrograde to go more introspectively into your everyday needs. Your everyday needs. How is my diet? Venus retrograde, they're going through a sixth house. You might be more emotional and you might eat more sweets. So please I would highly suggest that you try to avoid sweets in March, just 1 month. I know that, people who are Catholics, there's Easter coming, there's Lent, there's like 40 days of Lent as well. So for fasting, if you're one of those people, I would suggest that you definitely dismiss sweets. But in general, maybe it's a good time for Libras rising to kind of do some fasting, just because I think it's going to help you revitalize your life, your your everything. This is also everyday work, don't forget. So it can affect some relationship with your peers at work. What happens, so think about that. Are you in some kind of conflicts there, especially coming from Aries, Pisces? It's a lot of, as I mentioned, it's a lot of like active. I want to do something, and then, oh no, I don't want to do it. Oh, yeah, I have to do it. It's enough. And then, no, maybe I should. It's going to be a lot of like that. So I think we're going to be more push and pull within ourselves. Should we do something? No. Oh, I have to be, concerned. I need to be more polite to others or kind. Oh no, maybe I have to be polite to myself. But there's a lot of these things happening with this Venus. Am I valued? What is my worth? So think about, what do you value in a relationship? Why are you in these relationships in the first place? What do you value in life? What do you value from your life balance? What is valuable? Your time. Maybe time is more valuable than anything for you. So you make time for yourself. This is also one of the things. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for Libra's risings. I think it's going to be definitely easier when Mars goes directly into Leo and she's direct in Aries. There's going to be some nice connections, friendships, gatherings, but it's later. So that's coming up next, but not yet. So you have to go through these little things. Just avoid sugar, or just yeah. That would be my number one advice. Your body is going to be very important. There's one eclipse happening in your first house, the solar one on the 29th of March. It's going to be 9 degrees Aries. It's going to happen here in the 7th house. Something with your partners is going to be highlighted end of the March. So anyway, so this Venus, you need to be prepared for it. You need to take care and make your grounds ready for that eclipse. Okay. Okie dokie, Scorpios, my dear Scorpios. Oh, so Mars is also your ruler. He's your traditional ruler. I think as well, while Mars was retrograde, you were more in a research mode, in a more strategizing mode, in a more thinking long term. How can I make some long term plans? What am I doing? Your Mars goes direct. I think you're going to be ready. But then Venus is going to kind of say, yes, you can do some things, but think about which creative projects you want to pursue with. Are there going to be issues if you have kids? Maybe you're going to need to spend more time. Maybe your kids will need more of your time, or they are going through some things from their past or for something that they need to resolve, and you need to support them. Also, if you're casually dating, when Venus is in Pisces retrograde here, some of your previous romances can come up for sure. Or if you're casual dating, just watch out. Don't trust everything you hear on these dates. Venus in Pisces with ruling with the Gemini, Jupiter. A lot of nice words can be said, but you're Scorpio rising anyway. You're always very skeptical and you're cautious anyway. It's going to be more of those. I think you're going to feel more gullible than usual. So you might surprise yourself because you're not gullible persons in the first place. But I think you might be, when Venus is in Pisces, you're going to feel more gullible. And there's going to be a strong need to have a lot of sex, to be honest. I won't sugarcoat it. Jupiter in the 8th with Venus retrograde in the 5th. I think you want to have those. You want to go along for those intimate connections, and usually sexual ones are the most intimate ones. So this can happen as well. Jupiter is also ruling your 5th house, so there's going to be definitely a connection between the 8th and the 5th, and intensity. You will feel the intensity of this Venus more than anybody else, and as I said, the need to be to find that somebody who you can share things with on a deeper level. It's a good time to go back and to do some research projects with these two things, definitely. And when Venus is going to go retrograde in the 6th house, Mars is in the 9th, ruling this Venus from the ninth. Well, there might be again some work connections with the foreigners, or you might get an opportunity to travel for work. That can happen as well, especially with Mars going direct. This can be an opportunity, or something that you were promised before about, from your workplace or travel situations. Or you might, you might get, your company, or if you're working for somebody, might pay you to get a course or some kind of certificate for work that can help you. So that can happen, like something that was promised before and was on hold. Maybe this retrograde will actually make it happen. There might be some breakups. So in a sense that you, if you're working with foreigners or have connections with foreign lands or people, or that there may be some breakups there. Regarding work, I would say probably. So I wouldn't say it's personal in your case. So this is work related. Yeah, you know what? With Venus in Aries in the sixth house, being retrograde, it's excellent to think about your physical body, and do you need to make any changes? Do you need to exercise more? I would, or what do you need to do to feel better in your body? And I don't know, I just feel that, that's the topic. And, when Mars goes to Leo, it's going to be a great connection for you. So I think you're going to be rewarded at the end. Just, you need to be maybe more patient, or something might happen here that you don't know. Yeah, but there might be some work-related breakups in your case. Yeah, or maybe, maybe you're going to get a fight with your kids. Venus here, I don't know, maybe you're when Venus goes retrograde in Pisces, maybe your rose glasses will fall off and you'll see people for who they really are. I don't know, it's interesting, because you're Scorpio rising. There's always something happening behind the scenes for you, so maybe this can be revealed during retrograde. It's like vice versa for you. Yeah, but usually during retrogrades we go through things that already happened, and there are, so it might be very interesting to see. Yeah. A passionate project might help you, definitely. Okay, Sag risings. Venus. So Jupiter is your ruler, and he is already in your in your house of partners for so long, making some maybe great opportunities. Maybe you met somebody already, and maybe now it's time to revise if that person is to stay or not to stay. Look, fifth house, romance, serious family. Are you gonna maybe? Are you going to get serious with this person? Are you going to commit to them? Maybe it's not time to commit. Maybe you commit and then you regret later. Or so think about it. I know you're not high on commitments anyway, Sagittarius, but I think this Venus will, because I think you kind of, you're going to feel good about people who you spend time with, and so there's definitely a situation with partners at home. Venus, when Venus goes retrograde in the fourth house, it can also be about redecorating, renovating, more beautifying your home. It's like when Mars goes retrograde to the fourth house, it's more about crashing the walls and making that one room out of two. That's not Venus. Venus is more about buying new cushions or painting the walls. Like maybe you want to paint your room in another color, or rearranging the furniture. So that's a topic, and I think maybe you're gonna have some fun doing that, because it's also when it goes retrograde in Aries in your fifth house of creativity. It's going to be interesting to see. Because Jupiter and Venus going to have good connection while she's retrograde in Aries. So although she is, making you rethink, are these projects, creative projects or creative expressions, worth my time? Should I pursue them or not? Am I, spending enough time with my kids and my family? It can bring definitely some romances, some passions from your past, or some breakups, passionate breakups it can be. But I think because Jupiter and Venus are in a good connection, I think there's an opportunity to go on a good side. And I think it's opportunity to actually reconnect with somebody that you maybe dismissed earlier just because it wasn't 100%. Maybe it is now. Maybe it is. Maybe that person that you dismissed, maybe that is the right person. So there's a thing happening here. I feel there's a lot of fun can happen for you as well. It can be a lot of fun things. That can be then more than fun. I don't know why I feel that. So anyway, I don't think this Venus retrograde is going to be that bad for you, Sag risings. I think other people are going to have more interesting things, but I don't know. Yeah, I think there's a strong need to be more independent, like doing like solo work. Fifth house is also about, if you want to do some entrepreneurial work, or if you want to open a business or start your own business, you might feel that you really have an urgent need to do that. Maybe with somebody, maybe there's a partnership, because I said Jupiter is there, so there might be maybe you think about it. Don't start it, but then maybe you can put some notes. Maybe you want to have this side business, or maybe you just want to quit and do your business, because you're going to have eclipses in your 10th and the 4th house anyway this next year and a half. So you might feel that it's time to change something and be your own boss. Yeah, that's what I feel. Anyway, you might feel that as well in your relationships. So, but let's see how it goes for you. I don't find this is going to be so difficult for you. Okay. Mars is in the 8th house. There are potential losses, but maybe just a casual relationship. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to go in the dark space, but there might be a potential loss. But I think Jupiter is still holding you. He's now direct. He's moving fast. He's gonna go into Cancer. So definitely after summer, you're gonna feel maybe better. But I think it's an interesting spring for you, Sag risings. I don't think it's as bad as for somebody else. Yeah, I think I'm gonna handle it well. For some reason, I feel that. So good. Capricorns. Okay. Where's the Saturn? There he is. Okay. The thing is, yeah, so Venus and Saturn are going to be close by when she goes retrograde. I think they're going to meet at some point. So this will definitely be a point. And I can see, when is this going to happen for you? Sometime in March for sure. But let me see. March and Venus and Saturn. Is it going to happen or no? In April or not? I do feel like they're going to meet at some point. Oh yeah, April 7th. Okay, so that's going to be, so the beginning of April, just before she goes direct, Saturn and Venus are going to meet, and that's going to be very important for you. April 7th for this retrograde, because and something will definitely something is brewing in your 3rd house anyway. So is it about your siblings or neighbors or your cousins, extended family? Are you learning something? Are you having issues with communication? This topic definitely the beginning of April will be highlighted for you. Some old stuff might come up. Saturn and Venus together is, feeling not loved, not valued enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not loved enough. I'm not worth enough. So then you might feel really, really low at that point. So try to resolve any issues that you have with your siblings or people or neighbors or whatever is happening in your local community. This is also a house of, it's Gemini house, but it's also about transportation. So your car may broke down. That's maybe what can happen. So literally a car damage. When this, or you have an old car, you didn't want to replace it, that you're going to have to replace your car or something like that, or a bicycle or some kind of transportation vehicle that you have at home. That might be a topic for you during this. When she is in Aries later, a retrograde here, there's also an opportunity to there's going to be some talks with your partner about maybe changing a home or moving. I think your partner will have this urge to move, so maybe there's going to be a situation like that as well. So yeah, don't sell or buy a house during this for you for sure, because Venus is moving. So I wouldn't change the neighborhood, I wouldn't change the house at this point, but there might be, especially with this Venus Saturn conjunction on April 7th, there might be really you're going to have an urge to move, and there's going to be definitely a topic for you and your partners, definitely. Yeah, and then later, when Mars goes to Leo, there's going to be a situation that you maybe need a new mortgage, or definitely some credit line, or there's something to do that you get extra money. So when Mars goes direct to Leo, if you need extra money from bank institutions or somebody else to help you with this move, that can be a situation as well. I think it's going to be more than just decorating for you. I think decorating is going to be more for whoever mentioned before, I don't know, Scorpios, but this for you is literally changing homes. Venus is in Aries, and she wants change. She wants to be, if you're living a situation that you live with your parents or with somebody else, like fourth house, that you want to maybe move out from your parents' house, there's going to be some kind of situation, or there might be a situation with Venus retrograde going here with your family, some obligations. Saturn here is also obligations. You might have to take care of your siblings or something, or there's going to be some situation that you don't like, of sharing responsibility, maybe of your parents or the home or your childhood home come up, and then when this comes, maybe inheritance. There's going to be some situations here, maybe. Anyway, there's a lot of things about home and siblings, and maybe setting a new foundation for the future. Jupiter is ruling this Venus from the sixth house. It's going to be a square between, so I feel that these obligations maybe or new responsibilities will affect your health in somehow. So you need to kind of also think about, are you stressed? I think it's not health in a physical way, but in a stress way. Yeah, that can happen as well, that you can be overly stressed. And you can be like that, right? Because you feel that you need to work to have results and achievements, and you might depend on others this time to get achievement and results, and you don't like that. So there's a situation that you might need to resolve with your family and siblings and home situation. Okay, there's much more to tell. There's always things you can think about, but Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. So you're going to have the same situation with Saturn is your traditional ruler and Venus meeting on April 7th. This is definitely going to affect your finances. Are you going to lose some money? I mean, Saturn and Venus together usually have issues with money issues. So are you going to lose some money or not have enough money? Or maybe I would definitely suggest not to spend. When Venus is in retrograde in Pisces, try not to expend. Don't spend money. Your expenses, there are going to be some things that your expenses will cost you more than you are prepared to pay. A lot of things are going to happen with your money situation. That's going to be highlighted, and definitely it's going to cause you stress. Mars here in the sixth house, stress because of the money stress. So also feeling that you're not earning enough, that you cannot provide enough income to take care of your lives. There can be a lot of stuff like that. And as Jupiter is squaring this, so that's not a happy situation as well. So maybe obligations from your kids and from your work, and just feeling tired, exhausted. Venus retrograde in her third house. Definitely, she's in Aries. She's feisty. She's passionate. The communication might really go wrong. You might say things that you might regret later. So make very while Venus is retrograde in Aries, please make sure that you're not putting it out there. You're gonna go head first, and then you're gonna feel sorry. There's a lot of things happening around money, work, and yeah, you might be feel feisty. I think the good thing is when Venus goes direct in Aries and Mars goes direct in Leo, there's a nice then the combination is going to be better with your partner. Then things are going to be more creative, more passionate in a good sense. Until then, I think you're going to feel a lot of tension. You also have, you have Pluto just entered your first house. If it's making any other aspects, it can be more intense. But please don't spend any money and watch out what you say. That's going to be the major topics for this Venus retrograde. Yeah, it's a, I think you're going to have maybe some sibling rivalries and feeling, I want to be independent from my past, from where I'm coming from the, I want to speak up my truth. Venus in Aries in the third house, you can really, really want to speak up your truth, but then you need to be careful that, you don't hurt people with your words. So that can be, a situation as well. Okay. And Pisces at the end, of course, this is a major thing for you. This is very important because Venus is going through your first and second house. You will probably, when she's retrograde in your first house, you might really feel more sensual, more sensitive. I think it's a great time that you are more empathetic about yourself, more kind. Jupiter is going to be in the fourth house, so there's definitely going to be something about your home and where your living situation that will affect you personally a lot during this Venus retrograde, and your money. So she's going to retrograde here. So it's how you make money. How much money do you make? Maybe there are going to be some pressures from your family, kids, and home to contribute more, to put more. You're going to feel like you're a victim. You might feel really, not good. Just feeling in your body, not good enough in your body, not, feeling that you're not pretty enough, beautiful enough. Just also watch out when she's in Pisces, you're going to feel like you're not, pretty enough or something. And then, she goes to Aries, and when she's retrograde in Aries, you might spend too much money on, some beauty things, and then they can go wrong. And then your family will resent you that you spend so much money on yourself. So there can be a situation like that, because I think with Venus in the second house, you really want to spend some more money on yourself. Or because Mars is here ruling your second house, your kids might want more money from you. I think money and values are going to be a huge topic for you. How much money you spend on fun and entertainment as well. This is the fifth house, or on romance, or on concerts, theaters, going to the movies. How much money you. Don't worry, Tyra. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. We'll talk soon. Yeah, Tyra and I will have another chat together on this month. So tune in, guys. Yeah. Anyway. So I think a lot of your family members and kids will want to spend a lot of they will want a lot of things from you, your time, your money, and you're going to feel drained. And I think you really want to put yourself a little bit on the first place. So I would just be careful of how much money you spend on yourself as well, because I think you really want to. And the question of self-worth and self-value will be definitely highlighted, connecting the first and the second house for you for this Venus retrograde. And a drainage from your family and kids wanting a lot of things from you, but you just want to think about yourself this time. And I think maybe it's a good time. It just remember, as I said in the beginning, with Venus retrograde, it's important that we don't make any, major decisions regarding our finances and relationship that we might regret later. She's in Aries, especially when she's in Aries, we might really make impulsive decisions. So impulsive shopping may happen, and impulsive just buying stuff for yourself to beautify yourself, like buying new clothes, literally, or jewelry. Mars is in the 5th house. We just gonna more makeup, or just overdoing it, like buying some very expensive makeup can be a topic for you as well, making yourself more desirable and pleasurable. Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of, people saying, like, especially your family or kids or whatever, we want as well. So, it's not going to be easy. Your eclipses are in your first and the 7th house. You have eclipse season. So there's a lot of things going on. Questioning, with nodes in Pisces, North Node in Pisces, this is, who am I? Where am I going? What is my path? What am I doing? How do I fit in this world? What is my identity? I think you have maybe an identity crisis as well this spring. So feeling, who am I? What am I doing? Like this general things that might happen for Pisces as well. So like a little identity crisis. So I hope it goes well. I hope this was helpful for everybody. I'm going to stop sharing. I try to give as many scenarios as possible for what might happen during this Venus retrograde. Yes, I'm just a little bit tired now. But thank you all for joining. Thank you for being here with me. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. I answer to everything. If you want to book a reading, go to my website, jasminabrozovicastrology.com. I have more availability, and I'm going to soon put some new things on there, offer some new readings as well. And yes, happy Valentine's again. Today and this weekend is going to be nice, so make the best of it. Moon is going to be Libra. We have Valentine's Day today. Spend some time with your loved ones in harmony and peace, and I hope you have a great Venus retrograde as well. Hugs and kisses, and we'll talk soon. I will be back on Monday with Israel. We're going to talk about Neptune in Aries and what is the new 15 year cycle. What can we expect from Neptune in Aries as well? So that's my next guest.